I take that back. That was negative.
That was negative.
I take it back. Thank you for doing that, PFT. That was very nice.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Appreciate that, Hank.
Here we go.
I love you, Hank.
On today's part of my take, we have former Oregon Duck, former Detroit Lion, third pick in the draft, Joey Harrington.
Possible jeans model
on the show. Great interview with Joey. We brought him up a couple weeks ago just randomly. So he reached out, and it was awesome to have him on. Talked about his entire career and what maybe went wrong. Great interview. Also some good insight on Nick Saban as an NFL coach. We have Monday Night Football recap, Hot Seat Cool Throne, and the return of Guys on Chicks, and we're brought to you by our friends at Dat Chat. Dat Chat is an awesome new social networking and messaging app that a bunch of us here at Barstool are now using. It gives you ultimate level of privacy. You can send a bunch of, maybe like last weekend you sent a bunch of drunk texts you regret. Well, you can self-destruct all of them and pretend like it never happened. Sending private pictures. Dat Chat is great because no screenshotting allowed. You want to talk about something private with Billy? He's on Dat Chat. You can hit him up. Maybe talk about going into war mode with Billy or how to genetically alter frogs. Billy's got it all on Dat Chat.
Make their vaginas bigger.
Yes, go download the app now and make sure to join our show page to talk all things our show. You just did something to my ears, Hank. That's okay. Go to Dat Chat. If I were gonna Dat Chat you right now, I'd be like, Hank, what the fuck did you just do to my headphones in the middle of my ad read? But that's okay.
No spoilers.
I feel like I'm in basketball sometimes. Where like we're just trying to see if you can get me off my mark during ad reads.
It's the psych out.
Yeah,
thing.
the psych out.
Big
You're
cat.
talking about frog vaginas and Hank's changing the levels in my ear.
No spoilers, but there's one character on Succession that probably wishes that he had Dat Chat before another character saw the message that was sent.
Yes, that's not me, Hank. I'm not fucking doing it.
I said
I'm not
no
doing
spoilers.
it. I know PFT's going to do it, but I'm not going to do it,
I'm not
Hank.
going to, actually. I had a Succession thing as one of my Hot Seat Cool Throws. Took it out for Hank.
All right, so download Dat Chat for iPhone and Android.
And all of the listeners.
And yes. Download Dat Chat for iPhone and Android in the App Store right now, or go to datchat.com/barstool to get more info and download Dat Chat. Okay, let's go. Welcome to Part of My Take, presented by Tostitos, the greatest chip and dip in the world, the official chip and dip of the NFL. You're not watching football right if you're not doing it with Tostitos. Today is Wednesday, December 15th, and the Los Angeles Rams are back. No longer frauds. They got their big win. Matt Stafford gets a big win against a good team on Monday Night Football. He was throwing dimes. Aaron Donald was incredible, and I don't want to say anything that will hurt anyone's feelings, but Kyler Murray does have interceptions where he's too short.
Well, he looks shorter in the red. I think when he's wearing the all red strip that they've got, that takes away at least like 6 to 8 inches. His head looks bigger with the white helmet. He actually does look like that meme. I don't know if it was Barstool Gooch that actually came up with that Photoshop originally, but the tiny Kyler Murray where he looks like
so cute.
He looks like a cute little baby from
like
Super
Baby Yoda.
Smash Brothers. Yeah. And he actually looks like that when he's wearing the red uniform at home. The Cardinals really just have a home problem. I think
they do.
They're really good on the road. They're 3-3 at home. And I know a lot of people were upset and annoyed at the yelling guy that they had down in Phoenix that was just screaming at the top of his lungs. I like that guy. That guy was the only guy that was bringing the fucking noise.
Yeah.
That's a guy that should be celebrated. I actually think that the fact that we could hear that guy yelling so loudly, that ties into their home field advantage problem because everybody should be yelling as loud as that guy.
Or he's just sitting next to a microphone, which it sounded like he was actually eating the microphone at times.
We shouldn't be able to pick out that one dude yelling. You need to have louder fans at home. I'm putting this loss on the entire city of Arizona.
It was, I mean, Kyler Murray didn't play well. They just made mistakes. Like those 2 interceptions were, you can't have an interception on the 5-yard line. And the interception where Leonard Floyd, like that was the one where you're saying, listen, Kyler Murray's really, really good. There's no doubt that he is a franchise quarterback. But there are plays where you wish he was a few inches taller. I think that's totally fair to say. Yeah. I wish he was a little bit taller in that one instance where he was trying to throw it over Leonard Floyd. And it's not even that he couldn't see over Leonard Floyd. It's like he didn't understand that Leonard Floyd could easily jump up and catch that because Leonard Floyd's that much taller than him.
I'll give you a counterexample, though, Big Cat. I think that there was one play. I think it might have even been the last play of the game, but there were some other plays that he mixes
Which was a
in.
sack.
I'm aware,
Okay.
but on that last play,
Yeah.
he almost got sacked first, and he's able to duck under sacks more easily because he's 5'10 or 5'9 or whatever. It does happen a few times a game where somebody will come in and they don't know. It's very hard for a defensive lineman to hit Kyler Murray in a way that's legal by Roger Goodell's new rules of the game.
Yeah, no,
So,
he's slippery and he's so fast and he makes so many awesome
And his
plays.
head is at shoulder level for him, so it's tough sometimes. He's able to duck underneath a lot of these sacks. He ended up really just falling down on his own on that last play and got the sack at the end of the game. But I think sometimes his height works to his advantage in a weird way.
Yeah, I would take that. That Leonard Floyd pick.
That was
what
a short.
Are you doing,
That was a
dude?
short
Like,
interception.
what are you doing?
Yes,
he can clearly catch that. Also, I like the fact that Kyler Murray's a little shorter because it makes James Conner look like the largest running back of all time. Mm-hmm. Like I had to go look up his height because I was like, is James Conner 6'5"? He's only 6'1", but he looks so tall because he runs in an upright position and also he's standing next to Kyler Murray. The big story though from this game. Like, obviously, everyone knows Aaron Donald's incredible. He completely wrecked that game multiple times. They should count, by the way, blatant holds should count as sacks for the defensive lineman.
Yeah.
Like, there was a couple times where the guy had to wrestle Aaron Donald to the ground. That was the only way that he wasn't going to give up a sack. But the big story of the game, for me at least, was Matt Stafford playing lights out, making huge throws time and time again. And we all know the Matt Stafford stat where against good teams, he has not performed well in his career. That's a lot of Lions. But that was a big, big game for Matt Stafford when the questions were starting to be asked again.
I think that Detroit fans are probably rooting for Matt Stafford, right? I'd actually like to hear from Detroit Lions fans. Are you getting like vicarious pleasure out of watching Matt Stafford actually win games for a change? Do you want him to get a Super Bowl, or are you kind of like bitter, like, yeah, you broke up with your girlfriend, but then she like had a major upgrade, and now she just married a billionaire?
I think they're absolutely rooting for him because he left the city in on good terms. You could see how much Detroit meant to him. I think he's still doing a lot of charity work there. Like, that was one of those, hey, maybe it's just good for both of us to walk away from this.
Yeah, fly away, free bird.
Right.
I'm rooting for you. I think so too. I think that Lions fans, that's kind of the one thing that they can have sometimes is occasionally, if your best players don't retire first, when they go somewhere else, you can root for them.
Yeah.
Now, a guy like when they do the rent a player, like when Kyle Van Noy comes from the Patriots, they do that a lot. They just like borrow players from the Patriots, give them money, and then the Patriots players go back to New England and win. I don't think they like those guys, but a guy like Matt Stafford,
yes,
I think it's tough not to root for him. And when he was connecting deep, that one pass that he had to the guy's son, to Van Jefferson.
Yeah.
That was a sick pass.
He was throwing dimes.
His arm looks way better than it did like 3 weeks ago when everybody was saying that he was hurt.
Yeah, and it was that was a big moment, a big game that has a lot to do with seeding and winning the NFC West, and he stepped up and he was like, that was one of those games. Aaron Donald's the best player on the field. I think we can all agree on that just because of how much he just wrecks shit. But Matt Stafford was the best offensive player on the field, and he was, Cooper Kupp was awesome. Like, Odell's getting in the mix. I walked away from that game being like, okay, Matt Stafford, that's the Hall of Fame Matt Stafford that I hope gets there so I can pull up a tweet from 5 years ago saying you were going to be in the Hall of Fame.
And the other big takeaway is that Brian Greasy is still hoping for a field goal towards the end of the game.
Yes, he really wanted that. I think he had the over.
Yeah,
because he over hit with the field goal.
He did. He really wanted that field goal on even the drive before they kicked the field goal. He wanted the field goal then. Mm-hmm. He was getting greedy with his field goal requests.
Yeah,
it was
right though.
He was right.
He was right.
They should kick field goals. I mean, Slater's a very good. What's his name? Prater. Prater's a very good field goal kicker, and they should have kicked it earlier, and they should have kicked it on the drive before.
Yeah, and also more big news: we got another onside kick recovery by the team that did not win. That was the team that Billy was alluding to when he said that 3 teams recovered an onside kick and did not win. He was just seeing into the future.
Yeah, well, no, the Lions also, remember?
It was the Giants, not the Lions.
Oh, it was the Giants.
Yeah.
For the record.
So there were 4.
Now it's 4.
Yeah.
Now it's 4.
Yeah, now it's
4.
4. He, I think they said Prater's like 4 for 15 or something, which feels really good.
Yeah, I think he was 3 for 12 going into. It might even be like 4 for 13 or 4 for 14.
Crazy.
I love that little dribbler up the middle.
Yes.
I love that onside kick, yeah.
Because no one really wants to touch it, and they're all scared.
And also the kicker's a nerd, so they don't want to hang out around him, and they're like, ugh.
Is it against, like, the respect of the game for a kicker to not just blast the ball at the other side.
Oh, off someone's face?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why they don't do that.
Like you would think you'd get a good ricochet back.
You could do it. Yeah, I mean, if you could aim it directly at one guy's helmet.
I don't know why they don't do that.
Well, but if you
maybe not in
if
that
you kick it as hard
situation.
as you can, they're not going to catch it.
Right.
Yeah,
and
but you're probably going to miss them, and then if you miss them, it's just going to go like 50 yards or out of
just don't
bounds.
miss.
they should do that though, not maybe in that moment when you absolutely need the recovery, but like in the middle of the second quarter, you score a touchdown, just try to worst case it bounces off them, and I don't know, they probably end up in like around midfield. But it could also be a squib kick that goes all the way down, or you blast them in the face and recover.
So, yeah, let's think about this, because in soccer, a penalty kick is 12 yards away, right? And you think that if they were trying to hit the goalie on every kick, they could probably do it? So the kick on a kickoff is 10 yards away. So you could probably come pretty close.
But remember, too, there's more goalies, and a lot of the goalies in this analogy are kind of leaning back, going backwards.
But I don't think that you could aim for a goalie, miss the goalie, and have it hit another, because the goalies are too far apart.
Yeah, they're
like
close
shoulder to
enough.
shoulder.
You just blast it.
This is the exact strategy in Pop Warner because no one can catch the ball like that. They just have the kicker just blast at some poor kid with no
It would
hands.
just be funny to watch.
I still think a drop kick on kickoffs is by far the easiest way to recover. You can just sky that up in the air, run 10 yards, easy catch.
Never mind.
Can't you fair catch it though?
This
I'm not
is
aware.
like
I'm pretty
this
sure
is
you
the
can-
Harbaugh thing,
on a-
right?
on
This
a-
is
on a
your
drop
old.
kick?
Yeah, can you fair catch any?
Oh, yeah, Harbaugh tried doing it. Yeah, and I think it worked, actually.
You brought this up
Yeah.
a lot to coaches. I remember.
Yeah, to coaches, and Harbaugh tried doing it, and it worked.
A drop kick, onside kick.
You can't fair catch it.
On a drop kick? I know you can on a kickoff.
You can fair catch it, but if you drop it, then they can
Well,
pick
yeah,
it
of
up.
course, yeah. Onside kick, Harbaugh. I'm looking it up right now because I want to see this. I can't.
You could also...
NFL bans Ravens crazy kickoff drop kick after watching Baltimore use it just one time.
They banned it?
Yeah.
Fucking
there you
Goodell.
go. So that's why it never happens.
So I broke the NFL.
So yeah, it was Justin Tucker. Did the drop kick, and the Chiefs just had no idea what to do. Yeah, he could have fair caught it, and he just didn't.
Yeah, but they didn't know what to do
Yeah,
about it.
right. So, no, the Ravens didn't even recover the onside kick.
Oh, well, it was
So-
cool.
That was cool until I looked it up. My bad.
Yeah.
I kind of ruined that. It's banned and it didn't work.
Yeah, but it's kind of badass that it's banned now. It's too hot
That's
for TV.
true. That's true.
Kicker's gone wild, baby.
That took a real turn right there.
You brought up a good point earlier when you were saying that if a player gets a blatant hold, a defensive player, that they should count that as a sack in their
Yeah.
stats. Absolutely, they should. I also think that, and you'll like this one too, Big Cat, if Aaron Rodgers sees a flag on the field for an encroachment and then he throws like a 60-yard bomb that he wouldn't have thrown anyways, that shouldn't count as a touchdown for his career stats.
Yes, because it was cheating.
It was cheating,
Yeah.
and it was a play that he was taking advantage of a loophole in the rules.
I just know there was at least one, maybe two plays last night where Aaron Donald was so unblockable, the offensive lineman just gave up and like bear hugged him.
Mm-hmm.
So like those type of plays, and I think it was actually Greasy who pointed out, he's like, that's just as good as a sack. Obviously, you replay the down, so it's not just as good as a sack, but you do lose the 10 yards.
That's probably the next gen in terms of analytics. If a company
Yeah.
can like figure out, Pro Football Focus is probably working on it right now. In between their mock draft grades that they're putting out now, they're probably figuring out a way that they can say, okay, this lineman actually, it's more. Big Cat, it's even more valuable than quarterback pressures.
Yep.
Is drawing holds.
Holds, or a receiver being able to get interfered with.
That's the most valuable trade of all. Yeah.
Yes. So this is something different than Monday Night Football. We never even talked about the fact that Stephon Diggs on Sunday looked to the ref to try to get a flag thrown and just like basically gave up on the play.
Twice.
I'm still mad about that.
Twice. I
Yeah.
think we did bring it up. Because
I'm mad
we're
about
about
that.
it. But
Yeah.
yeah, he should not have done that. And then now I saw a lot of people from Bills Mafia tweeting us screenshots of Stephon Diggs getting held later on in the game.
Right.
That happened too.
Yes.
The refs
Yes.
missed the pass interference in the end zone.
Of course they did.
But yeah, it's probably a good idea to try to make a catch as the play is going on instead of looking for a flag.
right. And also it was a fade, and I just don't you shouldn't even get pass interference calls on fades because it's such a dumb play call.
Yeah. I also think that the refs are less likely to throw a flag if you give up on a route and start complaining to them while the ball is still in the air.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
No one likes to be shown up.
It's it's James Harden looking for a foul without going through actually playing through contact. Actually, James Harden plays through contact, but
James Harden, but he would look.
There's guys, Nikola Mirotic used to always do that, where he would basically stop playing looking for a foul, and the ref would be like, "Nope, because you're being a bitch, I'm not going to call this foul."
I could also see James Harden looking for a shooting foul to get called, but he never actually attempts the shot.
Yeah.
He's about to be on his way up. He gets hit, and instead of attempting the shot, he just looks at the ref like that was a shooting foul.
Yes.
Call
yes. All right. Any other things from Monday Night Football? I mean, I was looking at this upcoming weekend, and it's coming down to it. Like all these games, a lot of these games have some big time. The Chiefs Chargers game on Thursday night has huge significance. You might be back in you actually do have a bet on this game.
I do,
because if the Chargers win this game, they're most likely going to win the AFC West.
Yeah, no, I have all my money right now is tied up in futures, Big Cat. That's why I can't bet, not because I lost all my money gambling. I've just got so many futures that I'm waiting. I'm good for it,
Right.
Like, I'm sure Jameis Winston will win Comeback Player of the Year this year, and I'll be a rich man when that happens. But I think I'm going to bet on the Chiefs. I haven't made my official decision on which team I'm going to bet on without actually betting on, but I think it's going to be the Chiefs just because I think Slater is such a big loss, and COVID is about to just...
And Chris Jones, though, on the other side.
Not to poke the bear on COVID, but...
Sounds like you're about to poke the bear on the COVID.
I'm not going to poke the bear on COVID.
But yeah, COVID is back, and it's a problem.
It's back, although...
It's a very big issue.
Florio with a 180.
What?
That I didn't see coming at all.
Do tell.
Mike Florio, because I started to get... Here's how I know that Florio's really dropped a fucking bomb on his little TV show that he does on the Cock, is I start to get tagged in tweets in the morning from old people that live in Ohio that think that I'm Mike Florio.
Right.
And they're mad at me for something. So today, I started to get some tweets that were like, "Thanks for coming around, Mike. We love you. We appreciate you." And I was like, what's going on here? Turns out that Florio has come 180 degrees. Now he has to take that if a player in the NFL tests positive and they are asymptomatic, they should still practice and play.
Wow.
Because
Way to go, Mike.
He said that there's no evidence of on-field transmission of COVID, which, if true, that makes sense then, right?
Yeah.
If people aren't passing it to each other, but then you have to think, like, what about the other people in the facilities? There's other stuff that hurts my brain that when all the details come into play, but I didn't see Mike making that move.
Yeah, that is a weird one. He's late in the game.
Yeah.
The time was about to expire, and he just threw that up. Didn't see that coming that.
How awesome would it be if Florio went like full Clay Travis?
It would be great. Just a heel turn on everyone's face. Mike, you can do it. It's gonna be right around with playoffs coming too. I don't know. They're gonna probably have to update their policy. It's going to be bad.
Did you see that on Week 18? They're flexing 2 games to Saturday night with playoff implications.
I did.
So that would be cool if it was. So it's
both AFC North, or it's going to be.
No, but it's not the same time, right?
No, different times.
Yeah,
but I think they'll do one AFC North primetime game Saturday, one Sunday. If I had to guess.
Oh, so both AFC Norths. I think there might be an NFC West in there.
Wait, week 8. Oh yeah, because week 18 is January 8th.
Well, no, they'll do two playoff implication games on Saturday. So that might, but I think they'll do, like, the AFC North is going to be the division that it all
that's
comes
going
down
to be
to.
Decided. Yes, it's going to be great.
It's so weird because it's Monday Night Football, but it's on Saturday, and usually they do Thursday Night Football Saturday edition.
Right.
It's going to be all fucked up.
Right. It's going to be tough, but more football. Feels like more football.
Yeah, it's actually the exact same amount of football.
But they spread it
around.
But
it's not. It's more football.
Right. It's like loaded nachos that are sky high, or maybe a big plate of them that you can see all the chips.
Yeah, what I like about that is I think of more football just like days that I have football on.
Right, exactly. You
so
count the
this is
days.
a more day of football.
Yes. And we have bowls coming up, which will be great. Okay, let's do Hot Seat Cool Throne, and then we will get to Joey Harrington, talk to him. Great interview with Joey Harrington. Very excited for people to listen to it. Hank, the happiest boy that ever did live, Henry Lockwood, Hot Seat Cool Throne.
Thank you, Big Cat.
You're in such a good mood.
I'm always in a great mood. And I just want to, I know there's a lot of people going through a lot of things. I might need a little motivation. So just think big, trust yourself, make it happen.
We're getting there.
Make your bed.
Yeah. My hot seat is the ACC, the Atlantic Coast Conference. A premier conference, our
What sport?
entire livelihood. Well, they're joking football
cross
this
country.
year.
Yeah, cross country
Joking
dynasty.
football this year. In basketball, thank God for Duke because they're the only team that's even decent in the ACC.
Let's see if Duke can make it sober to March first.
They've lost 6 bye games.
Yeah.
6.
Which would you like to explain what a bye game is?
Well,
It's
because
when-
it's the epitome of brutality.
Yes, it is.
It's when a big school pays a little school to play them.
Yes.
I've never fully understood that. It's always like a tweet where it's like,
supposed to be for your
this team paid $405,000 and lost.
Yeah, because they're doing it to pump up their schedule.
Yeah,
and
so,
win.
So a team like Virginia Tech hypothetically would pay James Madison to come down to Blacksburg and ideally beat them instead of losing 21-17. But then they pay the money because that's a notch in their record book, which boosts them up at the end of the year for the rankings.
Mm-hmm.
So
and they get to sell out a game.
Which doesn't even really work the same way it used to because it's antiquated because it used to be, there was back in the day when it was essentially if you get to 20 wins, you're in the tournament and it didn't really matter who the wins were. Now there's analytics and everyone's got the rankings and net rankings and quad 1 wins and everything. So these bye games, you could make the argument for practice purpose, like, hey, you get the guys an extra game where you get some run and try out some new things. But it does... Jake, you can would you back me up? It only can hurt you at this point.
It can only hurt you.
It doesn't help you with a resume at all.
And the mid majors, it can help them too.
Right,
we're
but
seeing mid majors sometimes getting at large, rarely, but
it used to be that you would just basically look at the final standings and be like, if you have 20 wins, you're pretty much in.
yeah. Now if you have a loss that stands out,
Right, you could be fucked.
Like if Duke loses these next 3 to South Carolina State, App State, or Cleveland State.
Would be a real shame.
Do you have to schedule, Jake? Do you have to schedule the same amount of games each school? It's like here's a minimum.
No, because some play in like the early season tournaments, like Wisconsin played 3 games in 3 days. So,
although those are guaranteed games, but those can change it.
Is there a window though? Like what's to stop a school from just doing? We're gonna play like 3.
I think there's
top
a max
25
number.
Teams and
Yeah.
There's a minute
or
max.
schedule.
And obviously the conference schedule is set.
Right, and
everyone
some
plays
conferences has more. Like I know the Big East is playing. I guess some of them are playing 20, some play 18. So it depends.
Either way, bye games, hot seat for sure.
I think it's usually just like an athletic director having a friend who's an athletic director at another school. Hey, do you want this check? Cool.
Yeah.
All right, we're still friends.
Yeah, and to not use it on your kids. You want this check and to not have to actually buy new uniforms and stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I got this money.
Take it.
Here you go.
Oh, and then
We should. I wonder if we could figure out a way legally to make us buy game possible because there is incarnate word and shit.
like IGN or whatever.
No, yeah. What if Duke could? If we're like, hey, Duke, for $300,000, you can schedule a part of my take and beat the fuck out of
They
him.
would never answer your call.
We hire Bishop Thickamore.
Why? Because I would buy beer for Paolo.
Disgusting slander
for Pablo.
you've put against a
What's his name?
promising
Paolo
program.
Banchero.
But yeah, I would buy beer from him, and he'd probably get so drunk that he gets cramps and he can't compete anymore.
Either way, it's bad for the ACC. I think coming off the fact that they were a joke in football this year too, just it's tough. It's tough if you're
bad days for the Atlantic Coast
a
Conference.
power conference. Once
Formerly
no longer.
Power Conference, yeah.
My
Since they decided to move out of Greensboro, that's when it all went south.
My cool throne is Boston Esports. Robert Kraft bought a Call of Duty team, so they're my new esports team.
And I'm sure they're going to be excellent. Because everything
I've been
Hank
following,
roots
so
for
I've
is
actually been following the Call
incredible.
of Duty league since the pandemic. We got into it. I met some of their players and stuff. Been following along. They basically didn't have a 12th team. It was a disaster. The league's in total shambles. They're everyone says that buying these roster spots is a waste of money. All these things, and I would have agreed with them until Robert Kraft bought the 12th
Now it's a
spot,
smart
and now
investment.
it's genius investment. I'm all the way in. Boston Esports to the moon.
Wait, do you have to be in Boston to play for the team?
No, so the Call of Duty
They all
league
live in LA,
they
right?
tried to franchise it. They also got fucked because they literally started the league in January, then COVID happened. But they tried to do the franchise model where they do different cities, but then during COVID everyone just moved to Texas because that's where the best internet is. So it's
Really?
Is that true?
apparently, yeah.
Or is it taxes?
Fiber. No, it's where
Oh.
all the if you're a lot of video game people move to Texas.
They do have Google Fiber in Austin.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Call of Duty League is a shit show. Not anymore though, because Robert Kraft's involved, and Boston Esports to the moon. My other cool throne is the under in the West Ham Arsenal game.
Oh, good pick.
Thank you.
That's Hank's a soccer sharp now.
That's tomorrow, though.
Today.
It's today, Wednesday.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, what time's the game?
3:30, I believe. I think it's Wednesday.
Today you mean Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not happening right now.
No, I
Correct.
would not. I would not
Right.
give a pick for.
Got it.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Got it.
That's
Okay.
So, Hank, you've been doing a lot of research on soccer games?
Yeah, I'm just a big footy fan. You guys know me over the years.
Huge footy guy.
Been on a heater the last couple of days, so I'm just gonna try and keep it going.
Love it.
Hank Ladwood.
Yeah,
Take that under. Thanks for the lock, Hank.
you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
That's what I do for you guys.
Yeah.
because I care.
Yeah, you do. All right, PFT, your hot seat, cool throne.
My hot seat is manners. I'm putting manners on the hot seat. There was an ugly article that came out in the Washington Post earlier today about the falling out between Dan Snyder and Bruce Allen, former president of the Washington football team. And this is maybe the most hilarious on-the-nose Dan Snyder anecdote that I've ever heard. So they're engaged in like a lawsuit going back and forth on a bunch of stuff. And it said that Snyder's grievances with Allen range from conspiratorial to petty. So when Snyder hired Ron Rivera, Bruce Allen sent Ron Rivera a text saying, "Congratulations, Ron. I'm very proud of you, very happy for you. This is great." Dan Snyder found out that Bruce Allen congratulated Ron Rivera and got pissed off that Bruce Allen didn't send a text to Dan Snyder congratulating him on hiring Ron Rivera
Got it.
at the same time. So then they're going back and forth with all these discussions and all these different stipulations for the lawsuit. And Snyder put in writing in a letter to Bruce Allen, I understand that Mr. Allen has agreed to send a text message to Mr. Snyder stating congrats on the hire. As a condition for them settling their lawsuit with each other, he still wanted Bruce Allen to text him saying congratulations on hiring Ron Rivera. And I agree with him.
Yeah.
I think it's a disgrace. It's indicative of why Bruce Allen was probably fired, that he's the type of person that doesn't have the morals to congratulate somebody on making a good hire of another person. Apparently, Bruce Allen has not agreed to that stipulation.
Well, Dan Snyder didn't hire him.
Dan Snyder hired Ron Rivera.
Did he though?
Yeah.
What do you
His
mean?
wife did, because his wife handles day-to-day operations of the team.
Who did Bruce Allen congratulate?
Bruce Allen congratulated Ron Rivera on getting hired.
Oh,
Yeah.
And-
I like this. Like if you're a rich dude and you get in all these legal trappings and you're just dragging shit through court, why not be as petty as possible?
Yeah, I love it. I think that Dan Snyder is right. He deserves to be congratulated for getting something right from time to time.
Yeah. Yes.
So Dan Snyder,
Yes.
you know what? I'll be the bigger man than Bruce Allen. I've probably done worse shit to you than Bruce Allen's ever done. Said worse things at least. Congratulations on hiring Ron Rivera. I'm very proud of you.
I'm gonna double that. Congratulations, Dan Snyder, on hiring Ron Rivera.
Hank,
That's
you
an
want a match?
incredible hire.
all thumbs up the message.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you. Thank
Congrats, Dan Snyder.
You. Thank you. Congrats.
That counts.
My cool throne is making material mistakes. UEFA was doing their
I
Champions
saw
League
this.
draw. Did you see that?
Yeah.
They were doing their Champions League draw, and they fucked up the pools. The ping pong. This is why you just need one ping pong ball machine and not like 6 of them that you're drawing from. They fucked up the draw, screwed over. Who they screwed over? Like Real Madrid?
Yeah, there was
One
a
of those
couple teams
teams.
that everyone's crying foul.
So they said, like Ari Abraham, when he did the material change thing, UEFA's, their verbiage was, we have made a material mistake in our draw, so we're going to redo the entire thing. Do it all over again.
Love it.
Good job. Good job. Anything that's associated with soccer, you can always count on just it being insanely rigged.
And corrupt, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, to the max. All right, my hot seat is Ray Allen. Steph Curry is going to, by the time you're listening to this, Steph Curry has already broken the record. 3-point record. He's doing it at Madison Square Garden tonight. I'm actually going to go to the game. I'm excited for it. What are you going to say, Hank?
You don't know that.
Okay, you're right. Blood
Actually,
Bank,
no,
Mortal
no,
Lock.
no.
No, this is Grumpy
no,
Hank.
No. I take it back.
True colors. True colors. He can't help himself.
That's awesome, Big Cat. I bet you it was an awesome environment to be in.
He has to
I
make
must have been sick.
Yeah,
He has
Hanky
to make-
Hater's back.
I'm just trying to.
2 threes tonight.
Yeah.
But you're right,
So
Hank.
no, technically I
No,
am, but
you're right.
you're right.
No, you're right.
Wait, are you sitting in the nosebleeds?
I'm not. I'm going to send a picture. No, I won't even send a picture because I don't want to be shamed.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Are you sitting higher or lower than Jake and the lads?
You know that you can't tweet a picture. I tweet a picture from Army Navy and everyone's like, these seats suck. I was in a box. It's like,
They
what?
either say, "Oh wow, you don't need to brag if you're on the floor,"
Yeah.
or
Yeah, it's
seats.
no win.
Yeah.
No win.
No win.
Maybe
You know
I'll
what
zoom
Mecca
it.
fix going.
What?
You got a little mecha fix going.
This is my second game, yes, that I've gone to.
You have a Connect?
That's a fix. No, just going to the game. So
Hank and I are.
Well, no, I didn't know if it
anymore.
was like that you had such a good experience at the Bulls game that you're like,
No,
I gotta get back in there.
A friend of mine moved to New York and I haven't seen him yet, so we're like, let's go to a game. Just guy stuff.
Yeah.
Is that okay with you?
I'm just curious
It's
where the
great.
seats are.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'll send him. I'll send you a picture.
Yeah, I want to roast.
Are you cool?
You're the one that's.
Are you okay with it?
No, actually, you know what? I'm
are you
wrong.
okay with
I'm
this?
wrong. No, I'm wrong.
I wanted to go see Steph Curry possibly break a record tonight. I'm feeling like I'm getting some pushback. Maybe should I cancel?
All I said
he's
was
not
that
gonna break
it
the record.
seems
If
like
that would-
you
if
have
that
a
would make
fix
Hank
for the
feel
Mecca.
better
That's
if
not
you
a
didn't see that.
negative
Yeah.
thing at all.
All right, I won't go.
It does seem like Hank is jealous that you were going to potentially witness history.
You want to come?
No, I'm not saying that. I was just trying to like further the conversation. It's like, oh, Big Cat, you've been going to the Mecca a lot. It's a fact.
Twice.
In how many weeks?
3.
That's how many weeks have you gone
Basically,
beforehand?
Spike Lee.
Yeah, basically Spike Lee.
But that's not like a
I
negative
love it.
thing.
I
That's
love
just
this
like
fucking shit.
fun little factoid.
And maybe Ray Allen.
And technically,
And
by
maybe Steph
letter
Curry.
of the law, he might not get it.
He might not get it.
I
Now
hope
I'm
he
actually
does.
rooting for him to not get it.
I hope he
I'm
does.
rooting for him to not get it. That would be very
I hope
funny
he
for
does
this
in the
show.
first
I hope he
quarter.
gets hurt. I hope he gets paralyzed
What if-
in the
what if-
first quarter, never breaks the record.
What if he just? What if he doesn't make a single three? What if he takes like 10 of them?
What if-
has the worst night of his life?
No, what if he actually gets hurt and it's a career-altering injury, and never gets back out there? But do you think they do? Do you think the NBA would allow him to do like a Bernie Mac, Mr. 3000, where he like,
R.I.P.
yeah, they have Steph Curry come out in a wheelchair to shoot one last three to tie the record?
And he's got like a little like a device on his wheelchair that like shoots it up with one of those arms, pneumatic arms.
What time are you posting this? Because this, like, what happens if he does
All
have
right,
a
so
terrible
it wouldn't
injury?
Be, it wouldn't be funny, but, but it would be hilarious.
It would be very, very funny.
Yes.
Hilariously funny. What are you looking up, Jake?
How many threes did he need? 2?
I think he needs 1 to tie, 2 to break.
Oh, there did
November 21st, he went 1 of 6. He's made October
I mean, he's
19th,
gonna get it,
opening
without a
night,
doubt.
2 for 8 at the Lakers. Every other game, at least 3.
So he had one game where he hit 1,
And one game
so that
where
would
he
be
hit 2.
tying it. That
And one
would be
game where he
tying
hit 2.
So
Okay.
Steve Kerr also said that it seems like Steph's been pressing. Like he knows that the record is here, so he's been thinking about it a lot. I have to imagine that he'll be doubly thinking about it at the Mecca, right?
And with me in attendance,
With Big Cat in
hoping
attendance.
for him to break his leg.
Wait, just his leg now?
No, his neck and his leg.
You can come back from a leg.
Yeah, neck and leg.
What about a Doug? Like, what's his name? Tom Segura.
Yeah.
What about Tom Segura style?
His whole everything blows up. His legs, his arms, his neck,
Yeah.
everything. But he survives. I'm hoping for that for Hank.
That'd be fun.
All right, my cool throne is F1 drama. We didn't talk about it, but the final race on Sunday was incredible. Drive to Survive is going to be even better. I don't know if you guys watched this. Max won. Red Bull, Christian Horner, a part of this podcast. He's been on. We'll have to get him on again. But it was similar to the UEFA ping pong ball draw. This was just like completely ridiculous, and they changed rules mid-race, and everyone's upset. But I love the drama.
Yeah, I observe this story through the lens of many memes.
Yeah.
That's how I prefer to get my F1 news and try to figure out what happens. Just
F1 fans are very good at memeing.
They're very good at memes. So just send me all the memes as recaps. And I think I'm going to piece it together based on what I saw on my timeline. There was a wreck, and right before the caution came out, the guy Verstappen overtook the other guy.
No, that was after. So after the wreck, they let when the safety car was out. And I'm probably fucking this up too, but I don't care because when have we ever cared about being right about anything on this show? There was a safety car out, and there was 5 cars that were lapped, right? That were way behind, that were in between Hamilton and Verstappen, and they let Verstappen basically cut in front of all those. So then
to get closer.
So then the last lap, they had a race for it, but Verstappen was on fresher tires, so he easily beat Hamilton on the last lap.
Got it.
And there was also controversy in the first lap because Verstappen tried to cut off Hamilton, and Hamilton basically hit the Rainbow Road and went through the track.
It's so hard to land on that thing.
Yeah, so hard. But either way, I'm excited to watch Drive to Survive and fully understand it. Maybe that's what we'll do.
well-
We'll do a recap of Sunday's F1 drama as soon as we watch this season of Drive to Survive and fully understand it.
I mean, it's hard to not be woke on the fact that they would do something like this because it's Christian Horner against it's Toto, right?
Yeah, Toto and
So like this entire controversy was just invented to get more
Correct.
viewers on Drive
Correct.
to Survive.
And the safety guy had an all-time similar to Dan Snyder, just like I'm the boss here. Toto was complaining, and he just said back on the radio, which, by the way, we need to get this in all American sports. The fact that you can listen to these guys bitch and complain in real time is so awesome.
Oh yeah.
But he just replied to Toto. He's like, it's motor racing. He's like, that's what it is. It's motor race.
It's like if you could hear the offensive and defense coordinators live on the headsets during a football game.
It's like
It would just be all you would hear is just some spitting dip.
I was gonna say you'd hear Matt Nagy on 4th and inches down 11 in a season that doesn't matter anymore, just breathing too heavily into his headset.
Yeah, Freddie Kitchens just run the draw.
That quote, by the way, I just have to throw it out there. When they asked Matt Nagy about the 4th and inches punt, he said, "You wish you would have went for it." That's the part where you look back as a coach and go, "Damn, that would have been a time to do that."
Yeah.
The royal we. You wish you would have gone for it. Yeah. All right, your hot seat cool throwing Billy.
My hot seat is politics in general.
Uh-oh.
So 2 politicians down in Brazil put all other politics to shame
I saw this.
after fighting online, calling each other scoundrels and other words in Brazilian, Portuguese actually. They had a 3-round MMA fight, which was sick. Just 2 obviously out of shape politicians just actually duking it out, and the crowd was going nuts. I really kind of wish that would happen more in the United States and other places.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that'd be
a great
sick.
one. And then
wait, what were you saying, Hank?
What's the appeal there?
Politicians fighting each other?
Just 2 out. No, I'm kidding. I was making a joke. Just a little joke.
Oh, hey, cat.
Rough and Rowdy.
Shout out.
Sounds electric.
We should try to get politicians to fight in Rough and Rowdy. I want to see local town officials.
Or at least
city officials.
At least Don Trump Jr. and Hunter Biden fighting.
I'd beat the shit out of
Mayor
Bill de
Kane.
Blasio.
They probably just end up partying together.
Yeah.
And banging the same whore.
Shout out Hard Factor for that, because that's where you saw it. That's where you saw the story.
Yes.
Subscribe to Hard Factor.
Yes, you saw that
the best
story.
daily
I
news
saw it
podcast
there.
in the world.
I saw it there. I assume you saw it there.
Yes.
Okay. We're working on
Also,
crediting our sources. Wait, Billy, you were about to not credit Hard Factor?
No, because I'm actually
in the world.
I'm actually crediting the blogger Reegs on Barstool because he also blogged it.
Okay, that's where I saw it. So I wanted to give them credit.
Mad creds. And my cool throne is J.R. Smith.
Yes.
4.0.
Let's go.
Incredible.
That's huge. Yeah, he also wants a Jordan NIL deal after posting a 4.0. For some reason, those are connected.
Yeah.
But he's a golfer.
Okay.
And, he's a good student athlete.
He should get an academic NIL deal, like getting a 4.0.
That's sick.
That's
Good
way
for
more
JR.
impressive than
Yes.
And my other cool throne is smelling salts because Matt Prater ripped a smelling salt before kicking that field goal at the end of the game.
It was very
just
funny.
pretty sick.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was very funny.
I love it when kickers do that. That's really the only workout you should be allowed to do as a kicker.
Yes.
Enough of these curls for the girls. You should be allowed to squat too. You should be allowed to squat and then rip salts, and that's it.
Jake.
Stop me if you've heard this before. My hot seat's Urban Meyer.
Oh!
So the latest chapter to this is he was asked on one of his defensive players, Andre Sisco. He said he's playing a little bit more, I believe. I don't have his numbers in front of me. Did not step on the field.
That's loser talk to have to worry about that.
That's
Fair.
Details. He's got guys that worry about his details from.
And shout out to Memes for the Urban Meyer video.
The Urban Meyer
crushed it.
Hitler video is amazing.
So good.
Yeah.
Perfectly done.
I was telling Memes earlier today that's one of those memes that was real hot in the streets back in 2010, 2011, and then it totally fizzled out. I don't think he even knew what it was.
Yeah. Yes.
And I think we should bring it back sparingly.
Yes.
Like a few times a season.
The icing on the cake was when they cut to the woman crying in that video, and it was alluding that it was Trevor Lawrence.
Spoiler.
Very, very huge.
The reaction too is it's kind of like Billy at the urinal. People are like, isn't comparing Urban Meyer to Hitler a little too far?
No.
As if that wasn't
it
was every single video.
Yeah,
for
those people
a
don't
year.
understand. We did it for everything.
Yes.
Every single person was Hitler for an entire year on the internet. Mm-hmm. It's like, I'm trying to think what story right now. People would be like the administrators at J.R. Smith's college when they find out he gets a 4.0. Mm-hmm. That's Hitler. being like, what do you mean he got a 4.0?
Or
They would use it for everything.
The AD of a team that just lost a bye game.
Yes,
and finding
right.
out the final score.
Yes, exactly. Everyone would get that constantly. Okay.
My cool throwing is the Georgia Southern
Big
women's
cat when Hank
basketball
finds
team.
out that Hank bet against his team again on Sunday.
Yeah.
So the Georgia
Hank, when he just wakes up. What do you mean I'm up? What do you mean I have work? Everyone out.
Everyone out except for Big Cat and PFT, so I can bet against their favorite teams.
No, I haven't worked a day in my life.
Sorry, Jake.
It's okay. The Georgia Southern women's basketball team's on my cool throne. They beat a school named Carver College 133-15. Carver College went scoreless in the second quarter. It was 60-5 at half. It was 99-9 at the end of the third quarter, and they won 133-15.
Oof.
Jake,
And got the sportsmanship people on Twitter.
Fired
they're
up.
The worst.
Yeah.
They're the worst.
Yeah.
So you.
No.
Yes,
For this
correct.
situation, like in
Correct.
football, you can kneel it. In basketball, what are you going to do? Not shoot the basketball?
Well,
Like, there's a shot clock.
I'm guessing that with
Well,
the
there's a
shot clock,
play clock.
they probably didn't have to shoot as many times as they did.
Also, apparently, they pressed.
Well, that would
Yeah,
be
that would be another
definitely
one.
be
That's
part of it.
yeah.
But I mean, if you don't like it, stop it.
Yeah.
Right.
But
take
I
the
have a
home
dumb
run thing.
question, Jake. Why do women's basketball teams play quarters and men's
They
play
changed it
halves?
a few years ago. I don't know the exact reason, but
More timeouts, more
probably, yeah.
commercials.
They don't do a 1-and-1.
Ooh, Ronald Reagan finding out why his wife is trending.
That's a good one.
That
yeah.
would definitely be used.
Mhm.
Throat goat. How good do you think Nancy Reagan's head was?
It was great.
I wish
from
we
what
could
I've
find
heard,
that out.
really
I wish we had
good head.
analytics.
I actually, I think that there's a chance.
For people who don't know, by the way, the Nancy Reagan was trending this weekend because someone compared Nancy Reagan and Madonna being like, who would you rather be when you're 60? Like Madonna half clothed or Nancy Reagan? It's a picture of her with her whole family. And then it got trending that Nancy Reagan was the greatest blowjob queen of all time in Hollywood back in the day.
It was a quote from some girl's from some woman's autobiography.
Thank you,
Kelly.
Hank. Thank
Kitty
you.
where
Kelly.
she said
has
like
a name.
Nancy Reagan sucked off everyone in the MGM lot for like 20 years or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a chance though that this girl is just super jealous of Nancy Reagan.
Oh,
does that not sound like
yeah.
something that like you
Yeah.
a girl that
Jealous
you
of
hate,
her head game?
just like she's
Oh.
such a slut, she sucks everyone off. That's why people like her.
No, because the way that
Like
that
tell
it
me
was
that's not
written
like some
in-
high school.
In that biography, the way it was written was
She got
like,
jobs because I
was-
didn't because she sucked everyone off.
no, it was like she's
That's
really
true.
good. It was like paying homage to her.
But Hank
it's
is
kind of a
right.
diss.
Like, yeah, being like, oh, yeah, she just gets the jobs because she sucks everyone off. Definitely is like petty 101.
yeah, so Kitty Kelly gets like all these salacious stories in her biography. That's kind of what she's known for. And if true, I think it's great for Ron. I think that the first lady or first dude, if there's a woman president, should be really good at giving oral sex. Really good.
Yes.
All the time. And Nancy Reagan should have wanted to stick around maybe to just be like full-time first lady.
Yes.
Whoever, the throat goat, the current throat goat, shout out AJ Teddy's, she should be vice president. Get out of here, Dr. Jill Biden.
Yes. Yes. Get her up there. But yeah, that story was very funny. That was when the internet's good. When I think much like many people were like, oh, she died? No, she's been dead for a while.
Oh, Nancy Reagan?
Yeah. I was
No,
like, oh,
she
died?
actually came back to life in a way.
Yeah, right. She lives on forever.
They say you die when the last person says your name.
There
Yeah.
we go. So she is as live
Was
as
it-
she's ever been.
Was it Helen of Troy, the face that could launch 1,000? This is the throat that could launch 1,000 ships.
Yeah, there we go. Nancy Reagan, shout out, goat for in her own way. All right, let's get to Joey Harrington. Before we do that, PFT, you got a quick word?
Yes, I want to talk to you about our great friends over at Sling TV. We love Sling TV. If you want to watch the Brandon Walker college football experience featuring Brandon Walker, there's only one way to do it. That's with Sling TV, and it's the cheapest way to get the best NFL viewing experience on TV. That's right, the NFL Red Zone. With the Sling Blue and Sports Extra package, you get Red Zone, NFL Network, and more for only $21 for your first month. So if you love watching live sports but you're tired of the high prices, it's time to switch to Sling. We always talk about cutting the cord. We used to be afraid of cutting the cord, but with Sling, they make it very easy so that you can watch all the sports that you want, all the sports that you're used to, and save a bunch of money. Plus, you can watch past episodes of Part of My Take, The Yak, Stool Streams, and exclusive new Barstool content for free. Just go to the Barstool Sports channel on Sling. It's super easy to set up. It's easy to use. There's no contracts. Starting at just $35 a month, you can sign up now and get your first month for just $10. So go to sling.com/barstool, sign up now, get that first month at just $10. Sling.com/barstool. Now, here's Joey Harrington.
Okay, we now welcome on a very special guest. It's someone who randomly came up in conversation on the show last week, and we're very excited to have on. It is former third pick in the NFL draft, former Oregon, well, he is an Oregon legend still. It is Joey Harrington. Thank you for joining us, Joey. We appreciate you doing that. Yeah, we were just chatting for a second right before you joined, but we had the throwback moment of Joey Harrington NCAA football cover and how much of a legend you were, and you came up naturally in conversation, so we're very, very excited to have you on.
Well, I mean, that was the greatest game, not specifically that year, but that college football game was the greatest game in the history of video games. Well, maybe Tecmo Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But it's up there. It's up there. Yes, it's up there. It's coming back in 2023.
Did you used to play that game while you were in college?
We used to play the game. So those of us because I didn't play my first couple years and, red shirt and behind a Keely Smith and, you're down on the depth chart. And all of us freshmen in the dorms were like, okay, we got to get high enough on the depth chart so that we could make it onto the video game next year. Right. And then you all of a sudden, once you get it, because I think they went 3 deep at each position, but they never use your name. They just use your number. Yeah. So then we'd go in and switch out put yourself into the game. And of course, when you're third on the depth chart, you suck. And so, but still it's dude, that's me. That's my number. I'm on a game. But I was always too far down the depth chart to make it up until I actually started playing.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's great to have you on. I actually think that your story is it's now going to be brought up a lot more because of the way the NFL has gone and the pressure we put on quarterbacks instantly when they get in and the amount of guys get drafted in the first round. But let's talk about it because obviously people will say bust. I've read a lot of the stories you've done afterwards. I think you would admit that it obviously didn't go your way, but do you think about it often? Man, if this had been different or that had been different, or is it something you're kind of at peace with?
I mean, I think it's natural to think, what could have been, because people ask you that question. But I think what I've come to understand is I love where I'm at right now, right? And I live a mile from my parents, a mile from my wife's parents. I run a foundation for my main job. I get to coach my kids basketball. I get to be part of all that, right? And so I love where I'm at right now. That wouldn't have happened if things were different then. And sure, do I wish that, I had a 14-year NFL career and, ended up in the Hall of Fame? Sure. Of course you have those thoughts, but it's bigger than that. Yeah. Right. It's even, I'm sitting here recovering from a knee surgery that, 3 months without walking, and I'm 43 years old and realizing that hopefully I got another 40 years left of life. And while that moment that you're in the NFL, it's crazy. It is beyond, it's not real life. It's this world that doesn't exist outside of those 32 teams and these 32 cities. And I was lucky enough to have the perspective to realize that there's more than just being an NFL quarterback. I'm going to have 50 years of figuring out what the hell to do. So do I look back and say it would have been nice to play better? Yeah, of course. Do I wish that I'd had some situations where, the coaching staff and I were on the same page and, where I would have, simply played better and then things would have turned out differently? Sure. Do I wish that, coaches hadn't walked out on us mid-year and left us a note and said, screw it, I'm out? Of course. I could go down a laundry list of things that, would be amazing stories, but I wish they were different, but I love where I'm at.
Yeah.
And that's a part of who I am. And that's a part of what got me here.
I love that perspective. It sounds like you're actually one of the more well-adjusted former athletes that we've spoken with on this show. It's incredible. The Detroit Lions, as much crap as they get for being, a chaotic organization, they actually give you a good perspective in the long term because to some extent you're like, well, I could be back in Detroit. Things could always get worse. So I'm doing okay right now. When you got drafted there, that was right when they went on that run of drafting, wide receiver after wide receiver after wide receiver. I have to imagine that you didn't have a whole lot of input as, you were just coming off your rookie season as to what direction the franchise was going. But I guess how soon after you started playing did you realize, like, this is going to be a little bit different than college? It's going to be more difficult in a lot of ways, and it's a business now.
People use that phrase, it's a business, right? It's a business. It's different. But until it kicks you in the butt, like, you don't really, like, you don't quite understand it. I mean, sure, there were differences. Like, I walked into the locker room as a 23-year-old kid and step into the huddle, and Ray Brown is my right guard who, turned 40 that season, and Bill Schrader is my wide receiver. And, like, looking around, it's like, I don't have a whole lot of connection with these guys. Like, I'm coming out of, like, having pizza and beer on Friday nights, and they're taking their kids to soccer practice and dentist appointments and worried about health insurance. Like, it's a completely different setup than a college locker room. But until, like, you hit that moment where they truly, like, run you out of town, or they say, thanks, but no thanks, get out of here. Until you're cut, until you have that, because they can't cut you in college, right? They can demote you, they can bench you. You're still part of the team. You're still part of the town. But in the NFL, they can just say, hey, thanks. It's been fun. It's been real. See ya, and not pay you another dime. And until you have that happen to you, which happens to just about anybody, unless you're Tom Brady. I don't know that it truly sinks in that this is a business, right? It's not until you have something affect you and your family, and you realize, like, man, I gotta move. Like, I can't even live here anymore. Like, and that's a big difference from college. And so it happens to everybody in the league, with the exception of Tom. But it's still football, right? And that's the deal. Is what makes it a business is the football side of it. Like, if you go out and play good football and have fun, it's still football. If you go out and play bad football and you suck, then it becomes a business real quick, right?
Yeah.
They ship it down.
I think the part that fascinates me with guys that get drafted really high and it doesn't work out for many different reasons. I used to think, like, oh, that guy's a bust. He sucks. Now I'm more on the line of every guy has a chance, and it's a small window where things have to kind of go your way for a little bit there for it to start to work out. Otherwise, it can go south real fast, and you never really get that full chance of, like, everything around you. Reading about your time in Detroit, it felt like the offensive scheme, they wanted you to fit to their offensive scheme, not the other way around. Is that fair to say?
I think that's fair. You've got to, you're kind of hitting the nail on the head where, so every team carried 3 quarterbacks when I was playing, right? 32 teams, 100 guys, 100 quarterbacks in the league who could make every single throw. They could do every single thing physically that you needed to do. And the difference between the first guy and the third guy was so minuscule, right? In Detroit, they wanted me to play in a West Coast offense. That wasn't what I was good at, right? And so we're sitting there in one of our install meetings, like right when I first got there. I'll never forget this. Like, we're going through protections. Okay, I got a 7-man protection, both backs, 5-man up front, releasing the tight end. And here's how everything works. And I kind of do a little math here. Okay, great. I'm protected if they bring it strong. What happens if they bring a free or a weak safety? If they bring safety off the weak side. What happens if I get 4 off the side? Can I side adjust? Can I redirect my protection? And the quarterback coach looked at me and said, no, you just have to buy time and make a play. And I said, I got an 18-yard comeback out there. How am I supposed to buy time with a free rusher? Like, I'm not Steve Young. I'm not Mike Vick. Like, that's not what I do.
Right.
And why can't I just give him a signal? And, hey, I see it. Let's adjust. He looked at me in the eye and he said, because that's not what Bill Walsh did. And I was like, but Bill Walsh coached in the 80s. Like, this is something different. And So could I have played better? Yeah, sure. Of course I could. But that type of offense wasn't my strong suit. I wasn't a quick ball out of my hands, dink and dunk kind of guy. I was best in no huddle type stuff. I was best at the line of scrimmage. I was never going to outrun you. I was never going to outthrow you. Of the 3 quarterbacks on our roster in Detroit, I didn't have the best arm, but what I could do is I could outthink you. Right. So if you put me at the line of scrimmage and I get up and recognize I got 2 safeties, I got a 3 technique on the weak side, here we go, man, I'm running here, before you have an opportunity to adjust to that. And so, yeah, you're right. If a quarterback who is better in no huddle gets put into a Bill Walsh, quick ball out of your hand, dink and dunk system, it may not be best for him. But that's the thing. Every single quarterback in the league has the skills to be there.
Yeah.
Every quarterback in the league has the skills to be to play NFL football. Mm-hmm. And, some more than others. And sometimes the ones that are at the top don't get put into the best situation to let them be successful.
Yeah. It's actually like, it's oftentimes we go back to like Nick Saban and Bill Belichick, but like the things that those 2 guys do different than everyone else is they will adjust their team to their strengths a year in and year out, even in the season, where it's like, this isn't just, hey, this is my system, we're running my system until it works. It's, no, these are the strengths of my team, this is what I'm going to do. Like you saw it with Alabama going against Georgia. Like they don't have a good offensive line. They're going to scheme up stuff to get the ball out quick, to let their receivers make plays so they don't have to block for a really long time. So I don't know. I've definitely changed my opinion that obviously players deserve some blame, but I think a organization and a coaching staff deserves as much blame as well.
It's interesting that you brought up. Yeah, go ahead, Joey.
Well, I was going to say you made an interesting point about Saban because I played for him with the Dolphins. In Miami. I was there the year that he left Miami to go to Alabama, and you're right to a certain point, right? You're right that he will adjust and he will recognize what he needs to do week to week, but there's a foundation that exists, right? He talks about winning football, play winning football, do this, and this, and you have a chance to win. You don't do those things and don't even show up.
What are the things?
What's that?
What are the things that he says? Like, what's the foundation?
It is all preparation, right? It is, God, you're gonna quiz me now. It's not specific, you have to, drink a cup of coffee and eat eggs in the morning. But there are certain standards you hold yourself to, right? Certain ways that you approach the game. It's an idea of having it be more than just a game, right? Having it be a business, having it be a job, the knowledge that somebody else is coming to try and do what you do. They're trying to take your spot. Don't give them that opportunity. And it's not don't make a mistake, but it's prepare better than anybody else out there, right? So once you've established that work ethic, now you can make the changes. Now you can say this week I need to be here, whereas next week I need to be here. But without that foundation, doesn't matter what you got because you're going to get your butt kicked.
Yeah, was Saban when he was, coaching you on the Dolphins, you always hear about like how he approaches the game in college and how he gets the players to buy in. Was it easy for him to get you guys to buy in because of what he had done at the collegiate level? Or was it like, you hear about some of the former Patriots assistants that go somewhere and they try to be like Bill Belichick on the Patriots, but they haven't won anything yet at that level. So, there's like some hesitance from some of the vets on the team? Or did you guys like listen to him? You're like, hey, this is Nick Saban, obviously a very good football mind.
I think it kind of depended on who you were talking to be perfectly honest. Because Nick likes control. Like Nick likes to be, like I said, this is how you play winning football. This is what you do. That doesn't always fly in the NFL. Right? It's easy to tell an 18-year-old kid, show up, get in line, do it this way. And if you don't do it this way, then I'm going to find somebody else who will. But when you're talking to a 30-year-old vet who has 8 years of NFL experience and 5 Pro Bowls under his belt, you can't exactly tell him this is the only way to do it, right? Mm-hmm. Because he can say, no, coach, I've had success doing it another way. And so I think it really kind of depended on who you talk to. Like you talk to guys like Jason Taylor, Zach Thomas. I know that they had some, I don't say some bumps, but they were able to work respectfully. And, from what I saw, they were able to work with each other. I can't speak to a lot of the other stuff. how well it translated. But you also have to come at it too from the perspective that Nick is who he is now. That was, what was it, 06, 07? So that was 14 years ago, right? We got 14 years of experience in saying, oh, Nick Saban is the best. Because at that moment, he wasn't the best. He was good, right? He was a coach who had won a national championship at LSU, gave it a shot in the NFL. And I think he realized that wasn't the best place for him.
Yeah.
And went back to college where he could control every one of those little details. And we've seen what's happened.
I mean, the guy hates losing. And I would just, it's incredible to even imagine that Nick Saban's in the NFL, where I think in his best season, he coached there for 2 years.
He went 9-7.
He went 9-7 in his best season. So at best, you're just barely above 500. I would imagine that a record like that even would drive Nick Saban insane.
I wasn't there for that year. I was there for the 6-10 year. And yeah, there were some fun conversations that that came out of Nick's mouth. That was that's for sure.
Well, I had one last question about Saban. Obviously, you were only with him for a year, but and you can tell me if this is way off. But the one thing I always thought I admired out of Nick Saban, and I think the best coaches do this, is they don't ever make excuses for why their team doesn't. They always kind of own it themselves. The fire alarm's going off, so if you hear it in the background, sorry.
I figured there were cops after this.
Yeah. But it feels like he doesn't make excuses. He owns he's going to do the work. I actually read an article where you said I loved playing for Nick Saban because he always told me honestly where I stood. He told me straight up, this is where you need to get better. This is what you're not doing right. And then if he's honest with his players, then he can stand up in front of the media and say it's on me to get them ready.
That's exactly how he operates, and that's why he has the respect of so many people. That that's not to say that he hasn't pissed some people off along the way, right? Because that idea of my way or the highway doesn't sit with everybody. But yeah, you're right. He expects, I won't say he expects perfection, but he expects accountability, and he shows accountability. And there are plenty of times when he stood up, and I knew I threw a pick and gave him a touchdown at the end of the game, at the end of the first half or whatever it was. And Nick stands up and says, "No, that's on me. I didn't get him prepared well enough." And I'll tell you, as a player that's playing for him, that means something. Yeah. That's a lot different than somebody going up to the microphone and saying, "Yeah, we need to get a lot better on offense, especially at the quarterback position or the running back position, whatever it is, and calling guys out." That works for some, not for all. But I respected Coach for the way he was able to stand up and say, "You know what? At the end of the day, it falls on me. Yeah, and it's my job to get them ready. And if they don't play well enough, I need to do a better job."
It's an underrated thing that I think we obviously joke about because it's a cliche. But you can notice the good coaches will say that, and then the bad coaches will find a way to almost squirm around it and be like, "Wow, this is a problem, and this is a problem." It's like, you got to just you're the coach. The buck stops with you.
You know why? Because it's all about it's CYA, right? It's cover your ass.
Yeah.
Because there are so few jobs in this football world, right? Whether it's college football or the NFL specifically, 32 jobs. You got 32 opportunities to stay there as long as you possibly can. And that's part of what makes that business difficult and what makes it such a departure from college football, where in that college football locker room, it's your 100 guys and your coaches, and that's it. And no one's getting in there. In the NFL, people realize that there's a 7-figure paycheck coming to me if I can stick around for another year. Yeah. Right. So if I can push the buck to somebody else, then that gets me a little bit something more for my family down the road. And that's real. That's the reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so after you were in Miami, you alluded to this earlier, but you went up to Atlanta and you were signed there to back up Michael Vick. And Bobby Petrino had just come in that offseason, had a lot of success in college. They wanted him to coach Michael Vick and use his mobility, all that stuff. And then, record scratch, 2 months after you get signed, Michael Vick gets arrested for dogfighting. And now you're going to run Bobby Petrino's offense, and you're having to learn all that. First of all, what was it like, the days and weeks before the indictment came down on Michael Vick? Were you guys completely caught off guard, or was there some, sense in the organization that you might have to step into a different role?
I think it's fair to say that I was completely caught off guard. And let me say this. So there's a couple different things here. First of all, with me and Mike, I came in to be his backup, right? After getting, after all the mess in Detroit, and then, thinking I'm going to Miami to kind of reset, and then Saban leaves and everybody gets cleaned house. I'm going to Atlanta thinking, okay, this is my chance to reset. No one's as stable as Mike Vick. No one's taking his spot. I can truly just kind of sit and recover. I don't want to, I don't say put my nose in it. Like, I didn't want to get involved, but it started to kind of trickle. Like a little bit here, a little bit there, and then it starts to build momentum, and to the point where it's like, I got reporters asking me questions about Mike. I was like, man, I don't know. I can't answer that. And so I asked Mike, I was like, look, buddy, like, I don't want to get in your business, but I want to know how I should handle this for you. Right. If these questions come to me, because I don't want to say something that, is wrong for you. And there was a feeling of, kind of like, I'm going to be all right. Like, it's going to be fine, that he shared with me. Now, come to find out, it wasn't fine. And actually I love Mike's story, like, because he was such a great guy. And the fact that, I don't want to say it was good that it happened to him, but the way that he responded from it and the type of person he is now, and the way he responded in his career. I mean, I got nothing but respect for that guy. It's amazing what he went through. But yeah, there was kind of a caught out of left field, moment for me. I was actually at home. I was over in Central Oregon, and I had just gone for like a hike up a Black Butte is what it's called. It's like a little, kind of mountain over in Central Oregon. I came down and stepped on a rock wrong and rolled my ankle, and I'm sitting at home back on the couch, and my phone rings, and it was our quarterback coach, Bill Musgrave. He says, "Well, you ready?" I was like, "Ah, man. Funny you called. I'm kind of icing my ankle right now, but I'll be fine. I mean, no big deal." He said, "No, are you ready?" "What are you talking about?" He said, turn on ESPN. So I clicked it on, and sure enough, Mike's being taken away in handcuffs.
That's not really something that you prepare for. Like, in media training, it's like, all right, the guy that has your job, he just got arrested for running a dogfighting kennel. Go.
Yeah, so that's like, that it's actually part of the playbook. It's like, all right, you wake up, you have your coffee, you do your weight workout, watch some film, get ready for the guy ahead of you to be arrested, and then you go out and you run 7-on-7. Like, right. There's no playbook for that. And so I show up for camp, and it's more than just like being thrust into a job. It's PETA protesters outside the practice facility. There were airplanes with like big signs circling the practice field, like, your new name is the Atlanta Dog Killers. And it's like, man, what the hell is going on?
You're like, I just wanted to be a backup. I just wanted to get on the Matt Schaub level where I sit behind Michael Vick for 6 years and then get a nice contract somewhere else.
And the best part is Bobby Petrino's the coach, who is he's ill-equipped for everything.
Yeah, he was unprepared. He was unprepared for that situation, but he was unprepared to be an NFL head coach. I mean, that's the thing. Like we talked about with Nick, and, being straight up with someone and talking to a, man-to-man conversation. We had a team of vets. I mean, it was Warwick Dunn, it was Algie Crumpler and Wayne Gandy and John Abraham, Lawyer Malloy, Keith Brooks. I mean, we had vets on that team. And after a couple of weeks, Crump and Warwick came up to me like, "Look, you got to go talk to Bobby." Because we would install like 1,200 plays and then run like 6 of them in the game. And we don't know what the hell we're doing. Like, who are we? What kind of team do we want to be? Like, we're practicing all this stuff, and then we run like this tiny little bit of it. So I went up and I talked to Bobby, and I said, "Hey, look, I'm bringing a message from the team. This is not, I get it. I understand. I'm ready to do whatever you want to do, but this is what the team is telling me, and you need to know this." And so he said, "All right, cool. Let's pare down the ready list this week. Let's cut this. Let's cut this." Great. I left there thinking, that was a good meeting. Like, this is going to be a positive step. I showed up for practice the next morning, and Hugh Jackson, who was our OC, and Bill Musgrave are sitting in the QB room, and they're just like coffeeed out and bags under their eyes. And I was like, man, what's going on? Hugh says, did you talk to Bobby last night? I was like, yeah, we had a great talk. Huh. Because immediately after you left, Bobby came down into our office and started screaming at us like, you MFers, why doesn't our quarterback know what's going on? Why can't we do this? Why can't we do that? And not only did he put every single play that we took out in, he added another, 200 plays onto our ready list to go in and play that week. And it's like, to have the audacity to challenge what it is that I'm trying to say and the way that I'm trying to run this team. Like, I'm sorry, that's not how you operate. Yeah. And then to literally drop. I mean, I don't think we have enough time for the whole Bobby Petrino story about like how he was talking to Arthur Blank saying, I'm going to be here the long term. And Arthur went on Monday Night Football and said, Bobby looked me in the eye and said, you got a head coach in me. After that game, he looked at us in the locker room, said, every single one of you needs to look at yourself in the mirror and decide what you can do to help this organization get better. He walked out the door and we never saw him again.
Oh, my God.
Like, can I help to do this organization get better? I could leave.
Yeah.
And leave you a note on your locker and say, peace, I'm out of here. And that night he was doing pig stewie.
Yeah, the press conference that was an alt. If you don't know that, because we have some younger listeners, Bobby Petrino, it looked like he was in a bunker. They had thrown him away in a bunker to do his press conference with Arkansas because it was literally in the middle of the night, leaving the Falcons all time.
Probably his second most favorite press conference that he had in Arkansas. Besides one where he's wearing the neck brace.
Yes.
I have to imagine that when you saw him wearing the neck brace and trying to explain why he was getting into an accident with, I guess, his secretary on the back of his bike or whatever it was, that probably had to be like a very funny moment for you.
I never wish ill on anybody. Right. Like, I'm not going to ever wish bad things to happen to people. But I can't say that I was surprised.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it like that.
Yes. So when you talk about the note, I want to get into some specifics of the note that he left you. Was it just one note? Was it on like a sheet of paper? Was it on Atlanta Falcons stationery, or was it like on a napkin? What kind of note are we talking about?
Yeah, I can find this thing. I got it. Steve Weish was with the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, and he sent me it'll take too long. It was like 4 sentences. It was like, I'm sorry, this is working out this way. And, this is the best decision for me and my family. I'm sure you can understand that. Thanks.
See ya.
That's it.
And it was just like, yeah, exactly. And it was literally left on the stool. Each one of us had it left on the stool of our locker.
Oh, we made copies.
Wow.
Oh, it was just copied.
Class act.
Of it. But the best part though is, so he came, so we're downstairs and this was the day after a Monday game, right? So we had a short week. Coaches had been in there, since like 5 a.m. the following day after the game, right? So this would be a Monday night game. So Tuesday morning, all the offensive coaches are just grinding 5, 6 in the morning up there. We as players come in probably like 8 or 9 o'clock. And so it doesn't quite, like there's this disconnect, like they're upstairs working, not knowing what's going on, as we come trickling into the locker room and start to figure it out. So Bobby ends up coming back, and this is all told to us through, Arthur and Rich McKay the following day in our team meeting. Bobby came back in and essentially came in and quit, like that afternoon to Rich, and he just started walking out. And Rich was like, dude, I don't care what you say to me, but you got an entire coaching staff down there that has been working for you all day, and you better go talk to them. And so he said he led him down the hall like a child. Bobby walked into the offensive room and said, "Thank you for your effort. I wish things were different. I'm going to Arkansas." And he left. And and hopped on the jet and pig suey.
You're like the Forrest Gump of bad NFL moments, between that and like Mike Vick and then Saban leaving.
We're going to get back to Joey Harrington in a second, but before we do, I want to talk to you about Cross Country Mortgage. Rates right now are unbelievably low. Don't pay the bank more money than you need to. Cross Country Mortgage, they're actually a lot like us at Barstool. They're a people-first group of people. They're dedicated to the fundamentals of mortgage lending. You get a fast, convenient, and less stressful home financing or refinancing experience. Our friends over at Cross Country Mortgage have made it so easy to figure out how much you can save on a monthly basis and over the lifetime of your loan. The numbers can be staggering. You don't know how much you can save unless you actually talk to an expert and figure it out. If you're a homeowner and you haven't refinanced recently, you might be leaving thousands, if not tens of thousands. Who knows? It could be hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table over the lifetime of your loan. So check it out. Go to crosscountrymortgage.com/barstool. Learn more about your future home buying experience or refinance your current mortgage. Cross Country Mortgage LLC, NMLS 3029, all loans subject to underwriting approval. www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Here's more Joey Harrington.
So this might be a little bit of a tough question, but I'm sure you have an answer or something you thought about it. But is there a sliding doors moment? Is there one moment that you go back and you're like, man, if that one had been different, if I had drafted differently, if I had maybe come out a year earlier, if Nick Saban had stayed in the NFL, like, is there one moment that you think of like, that could have changed some things?
I actually had that moment a couple weeks ago, actually. So there were 5 teams that wanted a quarterback that year because I wasn't coming out earlier. I mean, my junior year was fine, but I had no intention. I mean, I was a college guy. Like, right. I loved college. It was awesome. So I'm staying. There were 5 teams that wanted a quarterback: Houston, Buffalo, Detroit, Washington. No, 6: Washington, Cincinnati, and Kansas City. And Kansas City was kind of late into the game. And so I didn't want to, Houston, I say 5 because Houston took David Carr. Like, they're out of play. I didn't want to go to Cincinnati or Buffalo. I wouldn't have minded going to Washington. I wanted to go to Kansas City. And Detroit was just kind of in the middle, because you have to remember, Detroit was they're only 2 years removed from Barry Sanders. Right. He only retired a couple of years ago, so I missed Barry Sanders by 2 years. I missed Ricky Williams by 1 year. So it wasn't a horrible place to go at the time. But the Kansas City coaching staff, that was Dick Vermeil. That was Terry Shea. That was, there was another guy too. That had a lot of actual connection back to my dad, right? So my dad played at Oregon. He was the starting quarterback for the very first game at Autzen Stadium. Wow. So he was the starting quarterback for the first game at Autzen, and I was the starting quarterback for the last game before they did the remodel. Funny, he never told me that. I had to learn it from a reporter, as it was happening. But so he has a connection to all those, because that Oregon coaching staff, I mean, that was John Robinson, John Madden, Terry Shea, John Marshall. I mean, guys that were John. Did I say John Robinson? I probably did. Yeah. Guys who had Coach Fry, and connections to college football and the NFL. But there was a connection there with Terry Shea that felt comfortable, right? That was the place where I wanted to be. That was a place where I felt like we had a connection. Like, there was that I was going to play for them and they were going to take care of me. And had come to find out, had I fallen past Detroit, then they were going to take me. And, may or may not have been true, may or may not have happened, but that kind of moment the other day where someone was telling me about, reminded me about that, I was like, yeah, if I had gone to Kansas City, because Matt Millen and Marty Mornhinweg, who were the Detroit coach at the time, were not on the same page. Right. Marty didn't want me. Mm-hmm. Mariucci didn't want me because I wasn't a West Coast guy, right? I wasn't quick. I wasn't mobile. I wasn't ball out of my hands. But Matt Millen loved me. And so he picked. And that was, he and I joke still, and he'll look at me, my legal name is John Joseph. It's not, I just go by Joey. And he always called me John Joseph. He was like, John Joseph, man, I ruined your career. And I was like, well, Matt, you a little bit kind of, but no, I kind of ruined my career too. So we can both kind of own it together. But if Matt had not done that, if you hadn't picked me, I could have been chief. Yeah. I could have played until Patrick Mahomes took over.
I've always heard that about Matt Millen. Like, he got a lot of shit back in the 2000s for some of those drafts, and probably deservedly so. But yeah, everybody, I've never heard anybody say a bad word about Matt Millen, the person. They all love him.
He's amazing.
Would he used to wear overalls around the team facility?
Oh yeah, because the guy had a farm and still, essentially lives on, a big acreage out in rural Pennsylvania. Like he's just a good person.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no mess, there's no fuss, there's no Louis Vuitton luggage. Like, dude, I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna do my job. And I want people who are gonna show up and do the same thing. And same way with Saban, same way with like any of those coaches, like you can respect that. Did he make mistakes? Hell yeah, he made mistakes. But he did it with the right intention, with the right intentions in mind. He was trying to do the right thing,
right?
But he screwed up, and that happens sometimes, and he owns it, and you can respect that.
All right, now dumb question, sliding doors question. Do you think the fact that you went by Joey as a professional, as a grown man, hurt you at all? Because I do think that matters. Like John Harrington might have had a long career.
Wasn't there a Joey Browner? Had a decent career with the Vikings.
So I'm trying to think right now. Like no one goes by Matty.
Joseph Burrow.
Yeah, it's like Joey Burrow. I don't think has a good career.
Joe Harrington.
This is now it's nitpicking.
Joe Harrington sounds like a vice president of an insurance company.
Yeah, we're picking apart your career. We're trying to find where things went wrong.
Okay, so what you're essentially saying is it is my parents' fault.
No.
Right? So that's where we're going here?
No. Joey Harrington is a great college football name. I think when you get drafted, you drop the Y and you go as Joe Harrington.
Fair. You know what's funny? Matt told me the same thing.
Really? All right, so Matt Miller and I both very incredible football minds.
It wasn't Joey Montana. It wasn't Joey name. It's Joe.
Yes.
I was like, man, but that's me. Like I can't change me. And that was the thing. Like, and
that's so funny that he said that because it's like it's an admittedly a very dumb thing for me to be hung up on, but it's like I just always am like, yeah, I don't know. If his name was Joe, he might have been awesome. I don't know.
Yeah. And I think that's maybe yeah, we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there. I hear your point. It wasn't Joey Namath. It wasn't Joey Montana.
Right.
I'll go with that.
Or maybe JJ.
Yeah.
JJ Harrington. That you could make a switch to running back at that point.
Yeah. That's a good running back.
You get faster when your name's JJ Harrington.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, and maybe that was the problem is I wasn't fast enough because my name was Joey. Had I become JJ Harrington, then I would have been able to avoid that free rusher off the backside and throw an 18-yard comeback with a guy on my face.
That extra letter weighing you down on your back.
Yes.
It seeps in.
It's all about ounces, just getting rid of the ounces that keep you slowing you down.
I've got an Oregon question for you. And you are like obviously an Oregon legend. I imagine that you still go back on campus and you're still a big man on campus, just for what you did to that program. But why didn't RoboDuck, the mascot, ever catch on? Because I love RoboDuck, especially when they show the birth of RoboDuck when he's like jumping out of the egg. Wearing the unitard, and he's got he looks like Batman, but he's a duck. And then you got Puddles standing next to him, like, what the hell is this thing?
Okay. So hold on. We'll get into the whole duck genealogy here.
Okay.
Right. First of all, Puddles is not the duck that is there right now. Okay, that is just the duck.
Okay.
Or duck for short, right? If you don't want him to be, Joey, you could or the duck.
Got it.
Duck. Right. So Puddles was like an actual waterfowl, like a duck, like a mallard that they'd bring from the mill race, which is like the little slough running by the stadium down onto campus. And they'd put it on a leash and they would bring it into the games. And there was like this little thing quacking along, and that was Puddles. And so then they went through like this whole Disney mashup where it was kind of Donald, but you had the Donald Duck coming through the O, but then some of the coaches wanted to be like an angry Donald. And then there was the fighting ducks, and it was like, what the hell are we doing here? And then there was the lawsuit with Disney, and they settled on the duck, right? So this duck is amazing, right? He is hilarious. Then they tried to hatch this new identity. Like you said, they brought him out of like this smoking egg and at midfield, and he had muscles bursting out of his leotard. And when you're used to the duck and the duck's antics and the ducks, because that's what's the best part of the duck is, the guy's just a fool, right? Whoever's in that suit they're hilarious. You watch the mortgage commercials, and the Duck's always the best one in there. It's not like Sparty or somebody who's like, takes himself too seriously. And so we as a Oregon community said, well, we already got facilities, we already got uniforms, we don't need like a flashy new mascot. Like, thank you, but no thank you. And it was like one of those moments where they didn't do the you put everybody in a room,
focus group.
Focus group. Yeah, they obviously did not do a focus group on the new Duck, because 99% of all Oregon fans hated that thing.
It's so funny to watch though.
The funniest thing though is, I don't know if it's the actual RoboDuck, but it is the Twitter thing. Might be the funniest Twitter account out there is RoboDuck, because he's got like some crazy, just outlandish takes. So things work out.
Yeah. All right. So Joey, this has been awesome. I have one last question. We appreciate your time. It's been a lot of fun. So speaking of all your experience in the NFL and everything that happened, I assume you watch the NFL nowadays and you see what's going on. Who's the guy you look at right now, whether it be rookie or maybe it's his second year, where I'm like, give that guy more time. Give him more time. Don't make a decision on him. I see what's going on. It's similar to my situation where you can't throw him out right away because things maybe haven't broken his way.
Give me some options.
All right.
There's Zach Wilson.
Tua, Trevor Lawrence. Obviously, he's had a tough year.
I think Tua is probably a good example of that. I would have said at the beginning of the season, if you talked to me, week 2, I would have said Sam Darnold, right? Yeah. I would have said that's the guy who was in a tough situation in New York and ended up in Carolina and started to have some success. But I like the idea of Tua, right? Because how are you gonna seriously have public discussions about trading for Deshaun Watson when you've just spent the first round pick on Tua, right? There's the whole tank for Tua campaign. Like, you wanted this guy and now you give him one season. I think that that's a great example. He's had some success, has started to play better lately, but that's the perfect example right there. I think that, and we'll see how it plays out, but all those discussions when they were talking about trading for Deshaun Watson, I was sitting there thinking, like, that is the dumbest thing you could do. You are undercutting the confidence of that kid. Mm-hmm. You are completely undercutting what you're trying to build. And not only are you going to not end up with Deshaun Watson, but now you're going to end up with a Tua who potentially may undercut himself, right? Because that's all the NFL is about, is confidence.
Yeah.
And I've told this story 100 times. It goes back to what what we were talking about. Every quarterback on the roster can make every throw, but the difference is being confident in yourself and knowing when to throw it. Like, so my rookie year, we were playing the Raiders, and it was Rod Woodson had already left. He wasn't a corner anymore. He was at the end of his career and had moved to safety. And I look back, I knew the coverage. I had a dig coming in front of him. I was going to clear it out with a seam route, looked him off, bang, came back and threw it. Steps in front and he picks it off. It's like, what the hell? And so I went up and talked to him afterwards. I said, tell me what it is. Like, what did I do? Did I tip it off with my eyes? Did my receiver cut his route short? Should he have cleared on your outside shoulder instead? And he looked at me, he's like, no, hell no. I've seen that route every day in practice for 14 years. And I'll be damned if a rookie's going to beat me on it. Right. And so the knowledge on the other side of the ball, the anticipation, it's not the physical speed of the guys when they talk about the speed of the game. It's their reaction times. It's seeing it every day for 14 years and saying, I know what's coming. I'm going to step here. So if you're a young quarterback and you step back and you throw that ball, right? Maybe the first time it gets knocked down. Maybe the second time it gets picked off because you come back and it's like you hesitate for just that second. And that gives that DB, that Rod Woodson, an extra second to step in front. Now, if you've completely lost your confidence and you come back and it's like, I don't know if I should throw this, maybe I should. Now you throw it and he picks it and he takes it back for 6, right? Hesitation, lack of confidence, doubt is the killer of all young quarterbacks. That's all it is. It's not skill. It's It's, do I believe in myself enough to go out and cut it loose? And even if it gets picked off, to come back and cut it loose again.
Yeah.
Right. And that goes back to all the things you were talking about. Like, how well do you work with your coach? How well do you feel supported? What kind of talent do you have around you? But if you as a quarterback know that, hey, my organization's trying to trade for Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
No, and I'm going to go out and I think, man, I can't throw an interception today. The moment you doubt that, the moment you hesitate is the moment you throw that pick, which sends you down that spiral anyway. So I think that's a great example. Is they need to make sure they're supporting to it, because he's shown that he can do it if he has, he's shown flashes, but he's also shown the other side too, right? Make sure you support that guy, and he could be a hell of a football player.
Okay, so welcome to Two and On. You're a part of the group, select few.
You say Two and On?
Yeah, Two and On. Yeah, we're part of Two and On.
You've been crimson
We're
pilled.
Two and On believers. I was a non-believer, and I have been reformed to be a believer. So you are now part of it.
So I hear like there are what should I know about this show now? There's Two and On. There's like I saw you were doing like dude like toilet paper or something, like when somebody's
dude wipes
or something. I was like, what am I getting myself into?
There are a lot of things that it's probably best that you just enjoy the show at a surface level, because once you get too deep, like where we go to, we go all.
The best way to describe our show is that we are not very smart, but we are smart enough to know that we're not very smart. So whatever
Which
that
is smart, right?
Yeah, in a weird backwards way, maybe, but it's like a meatball fan's thoughts deep down, covered up with a little bit of self-awareness that we are meatball fans, so we can make fun of ourselves.
Fair enough.
Like we like you, like having you on is great because we can talk about it. If Joey Harrington's career played out right now, we would just be like every Sunday we'd be like, Joey Harrington bust, drop the Y, bro. That's pretty much what would happen.
Actually, that reminds me, we do need to discuss whether or not you were a jeans model, because I have it in the back of my head.
That's how this whole thing started.
Yeah,
that's how this whole thing started. Okay, so I was thinking about that. I think where you may have gotten that is I do remember at one time like doing an interview and saying that I turned down like there was like an offer from Levi's or something my rookie year to do like, to be a Levi's spokesperson or whatever. And I turned it down because that was like, I kind of want to just like establish myself as a player first before we start getting into like all the endorsement stuff. Looking back, I should have grabbed it because, the next couple of years sucked. And it was like, dang, I wish I would have had some free jeans. But that's probably where it came from. That's the only thing I could think of.
That must be it. I must have just seen that interview and then my brain filled in the gaps. And I was like, whoa, what would it look like if Joey Harrington was a jeans model? Probably.
Well, and like I said, I do wear jeans. Like, I've worn a pair or two in my life. So maybe that's it too.
It's possible I have seen you wearing a pair of jeans before. We should send him some Muggsy.
You're a good-looking guy. I can say that. We
he-
spent an hour together now. You're a good-looking guy.
You should have a Muggsy sponsorship.
Yeah, you should. You're a good-looking
Are you
guy.
still interested?
what?
Are you still interested in a jeans sponsorship?
Sure, why not?
We'll talk to our
It's
jeans
free
people.
for me, and I'll take 3, right?
I'm actually a jeans guy, so like we are sponsored by jeans.
There you go. I got jeans on right now.
Okay, look, he wears them all the time. Don't you
go.
wish they were a little more comfortable?
Just like us.
There you go.
All right, well, Joey, this has been awesome. Appreciate it so much, man. If you're ever in New York, love to have you come stop by in person. So, although I feel like people who live out on the Pacific Northwest, they just enjoy life and not have to deal with the bullshit that is like New York City.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all you have to say.
Yes. But what I will say is I love New York. I love going to New York. Like there's just nothing like it. There's nothing like, we would do the college football award when I was still calling games. We would do the college football awards stuff at the end of the year in New York, and I'll go out there. I wouldn't have anything to do until the dinners at nighttime, and I would just spend all day. I go down to Central Park. I'd get a paper at Times and get a cup of coffee, and I'd just start walking. And then you just walk all the way up, Madison, then you walk down to like Times Square, and just people watching because it's crazy.
Yeah,
like,
guy jerking off, guy shitting, somewhere. Yeah, no, it's great. Yeah.
Steve Buscemi coming down the hill in like a garbage or in a shopping cart with like a helmet on.
Yes, yes, great times.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks so much, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet, guys. Anytime.
Yeah, it's good to meet you, man. Take care. All right, that was Joey Harrington. Before we get into guys on chicks, Shady Rays is here. Shady Rays is back. They never really left. They're the only sunglasses I ever wear. If you see me wearing shades, I'm wearing Shady Rays. They're the official sunglasses sponsor of Part of My Take. We're excited to announce we have some more Part of My Take limited edition Venturas. They're available right now. You might remember back in 2020, we launched our first ever collaboration with Shady Rays, and this year they came back with a brand new look. We actually worked hand in hand with the team over at Shady Rays. We helped them design the shades to make sure that they're true to the Part of My Take brand while also taking them up a notch in comparison to last year's version. I love the Ventura, the Shady Rays' first ever matte gray acetate frame. Ultra premium badass look. They have inset metal Shady Rays logo on the outside and signature Part of My Take logos on the inside. Two options to choose from. You have the Ventura, the black smoke, that has the ultra premium black lenses, and the Ventura infrared smoke. That's Big Cat's favorite, the mirrored red lenses.
Yep.
They both have grit etched into the lenses. We love them. I wear them every day. If I'm wearing sunglasses, I'm wearing Shady Rays. Plus, they have their special warranty if anyone has a problem with their shades. Shady Rays throws out profit, and they're going to do what it takes to make it right. And they donate 10 meals to fight hunger in America with every order placed and have provided over 20 million meals to date. So today, we're limiting our offer to 2,500 pairs. They're 100% worth this price. They won't last beyond the fall season. We've seen a bunch of people tweet pictures of their Shady Rays at us recently. They look awesome. People are very excited with them. Go to shadyrays.com/PMT. Get your pair. shadyrays.com/PMT.
Okay, let's wrap up. Guys on chicks. Hank.
Dank.
Clap it up for Hank.
Yeah, our guy. He got in here today. He's just working hard.
Nah, I've never worked a day in my life.
Yeah. Grumpy cat.
What?
You're the grumpy cat. Remember the grumpy
You're
cat?
being grumpy
No,
cat.
I'm a mad catter.
R.I.P. Grumpy Cat.
R.I.P. Grumpy cat.
Gave great head, though.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, dudes. Do I need to do
Was that
anything?
guy who cummed on his cat? Who didn't come
Didn't come on his cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shane Dawson.
Yeah, that's right. All right, sorry.
Do I need to do anything about the tire pressure light in my car, or can I ignore that until spring?
Nah. Unless there's a fire in your car, you can still probably drive it.
I just should always I'd hit the reset button, and then if it doesn't come on for at least a couple days, you're good.
I used to just say it's just a fuse, probably. Just
Yeah.
a blown fuse. No, actually, honestly, if it's a tire issue, just drive to any gas station and walk in and be like, hey, I think my car's broken. And then the simp that works behind the counter will come out and he'll just fill your tire up with air. It's very easy.
Yeah.
It's pretty no.
It was, but that's okay.
Hi, guys. I was wondering.
Simp.
I'm being nice. Hi, guys. I was wondering if you guys had any input as far as what I should do with my boyfriend. So for his birthday, I got him a Nintendo Switch. Easy to say it was the worst decision of my life. He won't stop playing to the fullest extent. Like when I say he won't stop playing, he will not stop, all caps. He brought a traveling case and brings it, all caps, everywhere with him.
Oh, love this.
Out to eat with friends, Switch comes too. San Jose Sharks game, Switch comes too. Dinner
What?
at what I thought to be his future in-laws, Switch. Christ, even late at night when trying to get intimate, hold on, babe, I just need to win this Grand Prix real quick. It's getting so bad to the point where I don't know if I should break the Switch or just leave him. Any thoughts?
Wait,
I'm embarrassed and really frustrated that it's consuming his life.
is
Help.
the Switch handheld?
Yeah,
I want one.
they're great.
Fuck.
This guy actually sounds cool in the way that he is doing the most disrespectful things and the lamest things that he knows. There are social rules set up against bringing your video games out to dinner with your in-laws. There's a normal.
What's his parents, so?
There are normal
might just not
rules like
care.
don't bring your phone or your gaming system to a live sports game that you're watching. But he just doesn't care at all.
You got the itch.
I was gonna say, if I don't know what phase they're in right now, like how long it's been that he's had the Switch. Speaking from my own experience, if you just let me play my video games for like 3 weeks straight, I'll tire out and I'll find something else. I think most people are very much like that, where like a new game or a new system, it's balls to the wall for 3 weeks, maybe a month. And then you kind of wake up, you're like, oh shit, I should probably do other things in life.
It would be pretty awesome if he was bringing a hockey game to the hockey game, though.
Well, that would be cool.
That would be sick.
Yeah, that'd be very cool. That's like when I was a little kid and I thought that my Game Boy controlled. That's why they made you turn it off when you were landing, because I could control the plane with my Game Boy.
No, that's
It
true.
was very stupid. Very stupid. That was when I was 14. Just kidding.
My boyfriend's brother used to be cool, and we would all hang out together often. He got a girlfriend that ruined everything fun about him, from his willingness to go out to his diet and even his sense of humor. Is it possible for him to return to normal without
No.
trying to break my boyfriend's brother and new girlfriend up?
It sounds like this girl really likes her boyfriend's brother. That's what this sounds. You're mad. You mad, Cameron meme, that your boyfriend's brother has a girlfriend because you used to get all that time to yourself.
Yeah.
Yes, sounds like Kitty
Kelly,
whatever the
yeah.
fuck, yeah.
Kelly, yeah.
He's dating this new slut that just gives him head all the time.
What are you going to say, Billy?
Buy your boyfriend's brother a Nintendo Switch.
Also a good idea.
Boom.
Call
But yes,
back.
no, you can't do anything. There's nothing you can do about it. You sound selfish, too. Because you have your boyfriend, and then you
Yeah.
also want the boyfriend brother, too? Yeah, come on.
She likes this guy.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we'll end with this one. Hey, fellas, my boyfriend and I have been together for 4 years, one presidency. My best friend just got engaged, and of course...
Well, wait. No, it's got to be 2 presidents.
Well, I added that. That was a little...
Okay, but you didn't do the math right. But you know what? I'm being positive. It's
4
2
years equals one presidency.
Right, but
how
it's
long is a
been-
president's term?
But it's
How
been
long is
2
president's term?
presidencies. You count by the it's been 2 presidencies.
How long is one president?
But it's been 2 presidencies.
How long is one presidential term?
4 years.
But it's been
Boom.
2
Okay.
presidencies.
My best friend... Actually, you're right, Big Cat. My best friend just got engaged, and of course her wedding is on the same day as my boyfriend's sister's wedding. My boyfriend said he wants me to come to his sister's wedding, but I don't want to regret not going to my best friend's wedding. Which wedding should I go to?
You got to go to your best friend's wedding. What is this? Wait, best friend? So it's... All right, so this chick, her best friend got engaged, getting married. Her boyfriend's sister is also getting married.
Same date.
They've been dating 4 years.
One presidency.
1 presidency.
Or 2.
I think you have... If it's truly your best friend, now it can't be... Because girls like to say everyone's their best friend. They have a lot of best friends. Just going to shoot that straight. I think you have to go to your best friend's wedding.
I think it all comes down to which invitation you got first.
But if you're in the best friend's wedding, you have to go to that. Like,
but
you,
like-
if you're in, that's actually the if you are in
She's
the best
not the
friend's
best
wedding,
friend if she's not
in
the
it.
wedding. Yeah.
And if she's in it, she's got to go.
And if
Yep.
but think about if you think you're going to marry this kid and you're going
Photoshop
to be
you in.
Yeah, seeing all these pictures and stuff for the rest of your life, every dinner, like every time they talk about the wedding, it's going to be like, "Oh, you weren't there."
But
Here's-
it's your best friend. If it is your best friend.
Yeah.
It sounds to
If
me
you're
like
in the wedding.
I think Big Cat was sniffing out a rat on this one.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't. You would be in the wedding. You would be a bridesmaid.
Right.
Because girls, they'll have like, they don't give a shit. They'll
Right.
have 16 bridesmaids and be like, oh yeah, my husband's a loser. He only has 2, but I'm still going with my, like 2 dozen that I've got that I haven't seen since college. So I think that if you were actually a best friend, you would have made that cut and you would be in the wedding.
What if there is no wedding parties?
No wedding parties? Then it sounds like it's a broke wedding. Go to the other one.
Yeah.
No, probably a cash
Probably
bar.
have to pay for your beer. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You could also go to one rehearsal dinner and then go to the other wedding. But I think you got to go.
I think that's
If you're
worse.
in the wedding, you have
What if
to
you're
go.
not in the wedding?
Then
What
I
if
think you
there's
have to
no
go-
wedding parties.
then I
But
think you
there's
have
no
to-
wedding party. So it's like an intimate
Oh,
guest
God.
list.
Well, then that's even more. That's more procedure. If it's like under 20 people at the wedding and no wedding party, then yeah, that probably is your best friend.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about this whole thing, this is your perfect time to basically hold your boyfriend hostage and be like, I would love to go, but who knows if we're going to be together forever. Hint, hint. Get that ring.
Mm-hmm.
You could basically, you have all the leverage. Because if he really wants you to go, you got to be like, well, I don't know. Like, what if we break up in a year?
Or you can see how much he cares about you. You can do the real passive aggressive thing and tell him that you're going to go to his sister's wedding and then always be like scrolling Instagram with pictures of you and your best friend.
Yes.
And be like, oh, I'm so sad I'm not going to be able to be there for Sarah's wedding. And then see if he'll be like, you know what, babe? It sounds like this wedding means a lot to you. You can go.
Yes.
And if you know that he'll do that, then you're going to want to stick around with him.
Also, check the invite because let's just call a spade, guys. We're boosting up the patriarch here. What if your boyfriend's sister is actually getting married to your best friend? That could happen. Lesbians.
The woman was a doctor the whole time.
Right.
Parker.
Like, wow, we fucked. That's actually this question. She's doing this to fuck with us. She thought we wouldn't get to this point where we're like, 2 women can get married. Nice try. We sniffed it out. Go to both the weddings at the same time.
With your boyfriend's sister.
Love is love.
No, your best friend is marrying your boyfriend's sister. Love is love. That was all a plan to make us look like misogynistic assholes, and we totally got it. That's a hot wedding now.
What about this though? What if the girl's best friend is a guy?
Oh, could also be.
And then they could be getting married too.
And what if the boyfriend's sister is, we don't know.
Okay.
She's transitioning.
So
It could be anything.
The girl's best friend is a guy,
Right.
who's marrying the boyfriend's sister, but the sister is really pissed off at the brother because the other brother's new girlfriend sucks, and that's you.
Yeah.
So don't go to any wedding.
Yep.
Sounds like you're just not wanted around.
We gave you all the permutations on this one. We nailed that. We crushed that. All right. Numbers.
88.
Numbers.
Yeah, I just had a quick recap.
Yeah. Oh, do it. Let's go, Billy.
Kyler Murray's always reminded me of something. Everyone's like, like he's small, it's weird or whatever. His helmet's really big. Just realized Madden 09 had an all-play 5-on-5 mode where all the players had huge heads.
Yes, I remember
That's Kyler Murray on the Wii.
Okay.
Yes.
That's where it was.
Yeah.
It was like in my brain somewhere. I was
looks
like,
like a
where the
me
hell
character, yeah.
are the big-headed football players from? That's where it's from.
All right. Sick, Billy. That was your recap?
Kind of.
Billy's recap was just another
Just
point.
remembering
that he
one
wanted
thing.
to make.
All
I
right.
like it, Billy. Thank you.
Numbers. What do you got, Jake? What do you
6'9".
got? Something?
18.
18. Again, you're going to run it back?
Yep.
You can, but this is now getting to a point. So you've won it 3 times,
Yeah.
but people are asking, can you win it with a different number?
You're a system player.
That's what people are asking. People are asking. I'm not asking, but people are asking, can Jake win the lottery with a different number? Can he take another number across the finish line?
Well, Jake, also, you pick 18 because it's like
It's a lucky number.
a Jewish good luck number, right?
That too, yeah.
Yeah.
But can you win it with another number?
Maybe. And didn't MJ win 6
I
with
guess
one
we'll
team?
know. Yeah, but I'm talking about this is more like coaching, right? Like it's
He did, but then he went to the Wizards and got exposed as being a fraud.
no NFL coach has ever won a Super Bowl with 2 different franchises.
Okay,
Could
fine.
you be the first?
44.
Well, actually, no, you wouldn't be the first because I've done this.
44.
You've done it, right? All right, 81.
44.
44 for Obama.
Of course.
Go, Hank. Liam. Good luck,
88,
Hank.
six.
12.
88
12.
for Hank.
For
81
Tom
for me.
Brady. I love Tom Brady and all his
Please be
success.
18. Please be 18. Please be 18. 70. God, that would have been so funny if it was 18.
That would have been so funny. Second time.
Damn it. Second
Wait,
time for
the
70?
machine rejected that, though.
Second time for 70.
Cody are South American raccoons.
Love
What?
you guys. Cody? Is this a joke?
Is this an inside joke that one person's going to get?
No.
What is it?
Shout out Cousin Dale.
Cody's.
Cody's?
Coati.
Cody's
Yeah.
are
Are-
South American raccoons.
Yeah.
Why are you saying it all weird?
I just thought of them. I just talked about them.
Oh. All right.
Just Google them. You'll see exactly what I'm saying.
I love you guys.
Your face.